So if you're watching this in 2026, this is why your vehicle is not moving after you've booked the transport with a transport company, or maybe you're trying to use UShip or you're trying to use another platform. This is why your car isn't moving and you're frustrated. The reality is, when you go online and you get a quote, or you go to some company, you ask for a price and you book the order, you put zero down, or maybe you pay a small deposit, then next thing you know, you're moving through and you're waiting for options you're waiting for an update from the brokerage to let you know, hey, we got your car assigned to a carrier. Now it's going to be getting picked up on this particular date, and so forth. Problem is, between once somebody books and when they get that update, that's where everybody tends to lose their mind, is because depending on what transport you're doing, this could be a long wait. Now, what's happening the minute you book that transport with that said transport company is they then have to go put your vehicle out onto the networks and load boards that carriers are fishing on for loads, okay? And they put that load out there, right? And then carriers, depending on what routes are, what loads they're looking for, they will inquire on that load. But this is where it gets tricky, because the carriers have their own set of priorities, and their priorities are getting a full truck from one end of their route to the next with as minimal stops as possible, minimal headaches as possible, and so forth. So if you've got a route or a load you're trying to move your car, let's say your Honda Civic from Sacramento down to Miami, Florida or something, it's a pretty common route, right? The Bay Area, Sacramento, Oakland, whatever, down to Florida, there's a ton of trucks doing that route. So it shouldn't really theoretically take very long to move that vehicle, as long as it's not an odd type of vehicle, okay? But there are thousands of people trying to move orders where it's not such a typical request, like something up in North Dakota or North Minnesota or rural Kansas. There's no trucks moving to these areas, okay? Virtually none when it comes to vehicle transport. There's no UPS or FedEx or anything like that that just always has trucks going to these areas. It doesn't work like that. With auto transport, they are all made up of relatively small auto hauling companies, maybe 1 to 3, 1 to 5 trucks total for their company. So there's no backup truck, there's no constant truck going to these areas. So they prioritize staying on the main routes where they know they can have a full truck. But once you're trying to do a rural type of load, it's almost a guarantee that particular auto hauling company, trucking company, is going to have to go way off their route, going to have to go way out of their way to go pick up said load or deliver said load, okay? So this is where the quoting process gets difficult for customers, because they get a quote online and they're like, okay, I got a quote, it should be this price, I should get it picked up within 2 to 3 days, and that's it. But unfortunately, when you get into a lot of these atypical routes where thousands of people are trying to move different routes like this, they're very unpredictable. And it's all up to the trucking companies as to if that load moves, when it moves, how much it's going to move for. And there's not a lot of demand from trucking companies for loads like that. So you basically just are in a situation where you have to be very patient, and you got to wait a matter of time. Could be a few days, could be 7 days, could be 8 days. Depends on how busy the market is and how many other loads are available to trucks. Right now, for instance, in the middle of April, it's extremely busy. There are thousands of loads everywhere. Trucks have their pick of the litter. So only the top probably 5% of loads are even going to move right now, because there's not nearly enough trucks to move all the loads that need to be moved. Probably not even 10%, okay? If there might be 100,000 loads that need to move, there's probably only 10,000 trucks at any given point in time to move all this stuff. So you have to be in the top rates on the networks and load boards in order to make that load look attractive, so a truck will come pick up that load. An easy way to think about this is a little example I could give you, but me and my fiance did a little, we did a little trip to a slightly rural area in Arizona a year ago. I was trying to use Instacart or Uber Eats or something to get something delivered. Instacart was literally searching for a driver for like over 24 hours and they could not find anyone. And obviously, I'm sure their app increases the pay rate offered to different people to get that order done. And it just sits there until someone's willing to do it, right? In a rural area, it just keeps sitting and sitting. It takes a long time. But in a major city, you hit the Instacart button or Uber Eats button, well, somebody picks it up right away, right? Because there's lots of demand. There's lots of people in that area willing to go do runs in that area. Once you're on a rural route, it's not much different in the vehicle transport world. It's like, there's just not a lot of trucks interested in a route like that. So you gotta be patient and you gotta increase the rate offer to get it moved quicker, okay? And these are two things the company you're booking with is almost never going to explain to you or tell you when you're setting up your transport, okay? On the other side of that, if your car is moving a more typical route, like Los Angeles to New Jersey, Dallas to Seattle or something, I mean, you can probably get away with tighter dates, and you can probably negotiate or push for a little bit better rate because it's a more common route. But still, you have to understand the process that trucks are who decide what it moves at. So if there is a ton of freight that happens to be moving on the route you're trying to move it on and it pushes the rates higher, trucks are just going to pick up the higher paying loads. That's what they're going to do. And your car is going to sit there while not moving, okay? So it is always, in some ways, a game. It's a game of what loads are paying the best. The trucks and the dispatchers are constantly looking at these load boards, looking at, okay, this load is paying better. It's a better load, better car. Customers, just easier easier dynamics with the load. Some cars, like older cars, trucks don't like to move older cars. They're more of a hassle. So if you have an older car, same thing. You probably are going to end up paying a little more money because it's an older car. No matter who you're booking with, they're just gonna tell you the absolute minimum when you're setting up the transport, and you're just gonna find out later, which is the unfortunate reality. So once you understand the way this process actually works, it makes it a lot easier to set your expectations at the right place, okay? So my advice, hit us up at airride.com, AIRRYD.com, if you're looking to move your car. Don't put insane expectations on the order to begin with, okay? Have flexibility on the pickup and delivery windows. Don't give yourself only 1 or 2 days at the pickup, or try to fit a delivery into a guaranteed just forget about that idea, okay? Erase it from your head and you won't be unhappy, because those requests are almost they're very unlikely to go how you want them to go. Not saying it's impossible, but it's very unlikely.